For the first time in over a decade, savers in Australia are finally feeling like they're getting a fair go. We're seeing high-interest savings accounts with headline rates of 5%, 5.2%, even 5.4%. The banks are finally rewarding us for being responsible, for putting money aside for a rainy day, for building a nest egg. It feels good, doesn't it? To see that interest hitting your account each month, to feel like your discipline is paying off and your wealth is growing. It feels safe. It feels smart. But what if I told you that this feeling is a dangerous illusion? What if I told you that for most middle-income Australians, that 5.4% interest rate is a mirage, and that the money you have sitting in that high-interest account is actually going backwards, losing its value every single day?
This is the shocking truth that the banks don't want you to know, and the government is more than happy for you to ignore. I see the fallout from this every single day. Hard-working Australians who believe they are making a smart financial decision by diligently saving are, in reality, having their wealth silently eroded by a combination of two powerful and relentless forces: tax and inflation. They are caught in a financial trap, a pincer movement that punishes the very behavior we are all taught to value. They see the interest payments, but they don't see the invisible hand of the tax office taking its cut, and they don't feel the slow, corrosive burn of inflation eating away at their purchasing power. This isn't a small problem. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of how money works in the 21st century. And it's a misunderstanding that is costing Australians dearly, preventing them from achieving their financial goals, whether that's a down payment on a home, a comfortable retirement, or simply the peace of mind that comes with genuine financial security. The high headline interest rates are a marketing gimmick designed to lure you in and make you feel secure, while the real story, the story of your diminishing wealth, is hidden in the fine print of your tax return and the economic data that most people never see. But you are not most people. You are here because you want to understand the truth. In this video, I'm going to tear down the marketing facade and show you the cold, hard numbers. I'm going to explain exactly how the ATO and inflation are conspiring to destroy your savings. And I'll prove to you that even with a 5.4% interest rate, you are likely going backwards. More importantly, I'm going to give you a clear, actionable plan to escape this trap. I'll show you where your money should and should not be for long-term growth, and how to structure your finances so that you are the one building wealth, not the banks and not the taxman. Let's get straight to the heart of the matter. The shocking truth is this: your high-interest savings account is a wealth destruction tool in disguise. It's a place where your money goes to slowly and quietly lose its purchasing power. To understand why, you need to see the two invisible enemies that are working against your savings every single day: the Australian Taxation Office and inflation.
First, let's talk about the taxman. The interest you earn on your savings is not a tax-free gift from the bank. The ATO considers every single dollar of interest you earn as assessable income. It's treated exactly the same as the salary you earn from your job. This means it's added on top of your other income and taxed at your marginal tax rate. For a middle-income earner in Australia, that marginal tax rate is likely to be 32%, including the 2% Medicare levy, or even 39%, including the Medicare levy. So straight away, that headline interest rate of 5.4% is not what you get to keep. A huge chunk of it, almost a third or more, is immediately handed over to the ATO. But the tax is only half of the story. The other, even more insidious, enemy of your savings is inflation. Inflation is the silent thief that erodes the value of your money over time. It's the reason why $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. The official inflation rate in Australia as of December 2025 is running at 3.8%. The Reserve Bank of Australia, the institution responsible for managing inflation, has a target range of 2 to 3%. We are well above that target, and the RBA itself is forecasting that inflation will peak at 4.2% in the middle of 2026. This means that every year the cost of living is increasing by around 4%, and your money is losing 4% of its purchasing power. Now, let's put these two forces together and see what happens to your savings. Let's take a real-world example. Meet Sarah, a marketing manager earning $90,000 a year. She's a diligent saver and has managed to put aside $50,000 in a high-interest savings account that is paying a very competitive 5.4% per annum. She's feeling pretty good about this. She thinks she's making a smart move. In 1 year, Sarah's $50,000 will earn her $2,700 in interest. That's the number she sees on her bank statement. That's the number that makes her feel like she's getting ahead. But that's not the end of the story. Because Sarah earns $90,000 a year, her marginal tax rate is 30% plus the 2% Medicare levy for a total of 32%. So the ATO is going to take 32% of her $2,700 in interest. That's a tax bill of $864. Her after-tax return is now just $1,836. That 5.4% headline rate has effectively been reduced to just 3.67%. But we're still not done. We haven't accounted for inflation. With inflation running at 3.8%, the purchasing power of Sarah's original $50,000 has declined. To maintain its value, her savings would have needed to grow by 3.8%, or $1,900, just to keep pace with the rising cost of living, but her after-tax return was only $1,836. This means that in real terms, after accounting for both tax and inflation, Sarah's savings have actually gone backwards. She has lost $64 in purchasing power. Her money is worth less at the end of the year than it was at the beginning, despite her diligent saving and the bank's attractive headline interest rate. She has been running on a financial treadmill, and she's been going backwards. This is the shocking truth that millions of Australians are facing, and most of them don't even know it. They are trapped in a system that is designed to make them feel like they are winning, while silently siphoning off their wealth. The banks get to use your money to make loans and generate profits. The government gets its cut through the tax system, and you, the saver, are left with the crumbs. You are taking all the risk, and they are getting all the reward. Let's expand on Sarah's situation. After 1 year, she's lost $64 in real-world purchasing power. It doesn't sound like much, does it? But let's see what happens over 5 years. If interest rates, tax rates, and inflation stay roughly the same, Sarah's initial $50,000, which she diligently keeps in that high-interest account, will have lost over $320 in purchasing power. But the real damage is far greater. The opportunity cost is staggering. If she had invested that $50,000 in a diversified portfolio of Australian shares, returning an average of 9% per year, even after tax, her capital would have grown to over $70,000. The difference isn't just a few $100s, it's tens of thousands of dollars in lost wealth. It's the difference between struggling to keep up and confidently building a secure future. This is the true cost of the savings illusion. So, what's the alternative? If a high-interest savings account is a trap, where should you be putting your money? The answer is that you need to move from being a saver to being an investor. You need to put your money to work in assets that have the potential to generate returns that outpace both tax and inflation. You need to take a long-term view and build a portfolio of growth assets that will build real, lasting wealth. Here are the kinds of strategies we use with our clients every single day to help them escape the savings trap and build a secure financial future. First, you need to understand the power of owning a piece of the economy through the share market. When you buy shares, you are not just buying a piece of paper. You are buying a small ownership stake in a real business, a business that has employees, that creates products or services, that generates profits. Think about the big names: Commonwealth Bank, BHP, Woolworths. When you own their shares, you are entitled to a portion of their profits, paid out as dividends. As these businesses grow and become more profitable, your ownership stake becomes more valuable, and the dividends they pay tend to increase. This is how real wealth is created. It's not through the magic of compound interest on a savings account. It's through the real-world growth of the economy. Over the long term, the Australian share market has delivered average annual returns of around 9 to 10%, which is more than double the current rate of inflation. And that's before we even talk about the secret weapon of Australian investors, franking credits. Franking credits, as we've discussed in previous videos, are a tax credit for the tax that has already been paid by the company. They can significantly boost your after-tax returns, making the share market one of the most tax-effective places to build long-term wealth. For a middle-income earner, a fully franked dividend can be worth almost 30% more than the cash you receive. Second, you need to consider the role of property. For many Australians, property is a cornerstone of their wealth creation strategy, and for good reason. Like shares, property has a long track record of delivering strong capital growth, but the real power of property lies in the ability to use leverage. Leverage is the ability to borrow money to invest. When you buy a property, you might only put down a 20% deposit, but you get the benefit of the capital growth on the entire value of the property. This can amplify your returns significantly. But leverage is a double-edged sword. It can amplify your gains, but it can also amplify your losses. That's why it's so important to do your research, to understand the market, and to have a long-term perspective. Property is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a long-term wealth creation strategy that requires patience, discipline, and a clear understanding of the risks involved. Third, you need to make the most of the most tax-effective investment structure available to you, your superannuation. Superannuation is not just a retirement savings account. It is a powerful wealth creation vehicle. The contributions you make to your super are taxed at a concessional rate of 15%, and the earnings within your super are also taxed at a maximum of 15%. This is a huge advantage compared to investing in your own name, where your returns are taxed at your marginal tax rate of 32%, 39%, or even 47%. By maximizing your super contributions, you can build a substantial nest egg in a tax-effective environment, ensuring that you have the funds you need to live a comfortable retirement. And within your super, you can still invest in the same growth assets we've been talking about: shares, property, and more. It's the best of both worlds: long-term growth potential in a low-tax environment. Fourth, for those with a higher risk tolerance and a longer investment horizon, there are other growth assets to consider, such as international shares, emerging markets, and alternative assets like infrastructure and private equity. These assets can provide diversification and the potential for even higher returns, but they also come with higher risks. It's essential to get the right advice and to build a portfolio that is aligned with your personal circumstances and your long-term goals. The key takeaway here is that you need to have a plan. You can't just let your money sit in a savings account and hope for the best. You need to be proactive. You need to be strategic. You need to be an investor. The shocking truth about your savings interest is that it's not what it seems. It's a financial illusion that is costing you dearly. But the good news is that you don't have to be a victim. You can take control. You can escape the savings trap. And you can start building real, lasting wealth today. If you're ready to make that shift, if you're ready to move from being a saver to being an investor, then we're here to help. There's a link in the description where you can book a confidential consultation. We can help you to understand your options, to build a personalized investment plan, and to take the first steps on the path to genuine financial security. And if you found this information valuable, please subscribe to our channel for more insights into building and protecting your wealth. And please share this video with anyone you know who is diligently saving their money in a high-interest savings account. You could be saving them from a world of financial pain. Let's be crystal clear about what's happening here. The financial system, as it is currently structured, is not designed to make you wealthy. It is designed to make the banks and the government wealthy. Your savings are the raw material that fuels their profits. The banks take your deposits, pay you a small amount of interest, and then lend that money out at a much higher rate, pocketing the difference. The government then takes a significant portion of your interest earnings in tax. It's a 1-2 punch that leaves the average saver on the canvas. Think of it as a partnership, a very profitable partnership between the banks and the government. The banks provide the illusion of growth, the attractive headline rates that make you feel like you are making progress. They are the friendly face of the system, the ones who are supposedly on your side. The government, on the other hand, is the silent partner, the one who takes a significant cut of the profits without ever having to get its hands dirty. It's a perfectly legal and incredibly effective system for transferring wealth from the pockets of ordinary Australians to the coffers of the big banks and the government. And you are the one who is funding it. And the most frustrating part of it all is that it's all perfectly legal. It's all part of the system, and it's a system that is stacked against you. But it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to play their game. You can choose to play a different game, a game where you are in control, a game where you are the one who is building wealth. And that game is called investing. Investing is not gambling. It's not about picking hot stocks or trying to time the market. It's about owning a piece of the productive capacity of the economy. It's about becoming a part owner of the businesses that are creating the products and services that people use every day. It's about participating in the long-term growth of the global economy. And it's the only proven way to build real lasting wealth over time. The transition from a saver to an investor can be daunting. It can feel risky. It can feel complicated. The financial world is full of jargon and complexity, and the fear of making a mistake can be paralyzing. This is not an accident. The industry often benefits from this complexity, as it keeps people in the dark and reliant on products that may not be in their best interest. But it doesn't have to be this way. With the right advice and the right strategy, you can build a diversified portfolio of growth assets that is aligned with your personal circumstances and your long-term goals. You can take the first steps on the path to financial freedom, and you can leave the savings trap behind for good. The key is to start small, to get educated, and to build your confidence over time. You don't have to become a stock market guru overnight. You just have to take that first crucial step. So, what's the first step? The first step is to get educated. It's to understand the difference between saving and investing. It's to learn about the different types of assets that are available to you. It's to understand the power of compounding, the magic of diversification, and the importance of a long-term perspective. And that's what we're here for. We are committed to providing you with the knowledge and the tools you need to become a successful investor. We are here to demystify the world of finance and to empower you to take control of your financial future. Before we finish, I want to leave you with a challenge. I want you to go and look at your own savings account. I want you to look at the interest rate you are earning. And then I want you to do the maths. I want you to calculate your after-tax return. And then I want you to compare that to the current rate of inflation. And I want you to ask yourself a simple question. Am I going forwards or am I going backwards? The answer to that question could be the wake-up call you need to start making some changes. It could be the catalyst that sets you on the path to a more prosperous future. Thank you for watching. If you're ready to take that next step, if you're ready to start your journey as an investor, then please reach out to us. We're here to help. And don't forget to subscribe for more essential insights into building and protecting your wealth in these uncertain times.